Hey, Chris Lippe here with the isolated vocals from Helter Skelter, the Beatles, Paul McCartney. This is an aggressive performance by Paul, and it's an amazing display of range, dynamics, grit, and also from a production standpoint, the way that the slap delay reverb effect is brought in and out, coupled with his dynamic approach, it's really fun to study this. The main thing that I pull away from these ISO tracks is the way he leans into certain notes and phrases, and then at the end of phrases, sometimes he'll cut back. Also, how just incredibly free he is. You can hear all sorts of sounds in the background. You can hear him snapping fingers and doing these little aside things with his voice, which I have put in my own voice in my own practices when recording. It's a huge help. If you'd like to go deeper with your own voice and you'd like my help, the best place to start is to click the link below and join my free voice course. Also, be sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already, and turn those notifications on so that you are made aware of when I post a new video.
Well, I stop and I turn and I go for a ride.
Now, we're going to talk about saturation and how, back even when they were recording here, the multiple points of saturation, meaning where the sound was kind of pushed to the limits, creates this nice even waveform and allows him to really dig into the mic and be less engaged in the mic, and it still sounds great no matter what. He's very free with his dynamics because of the signal chain. We'll go over that more here in a minute, but you can hear it right here.
Turn and go for a ride.
A little bit of that breakup at the top there, that tape saturation.
Man, I see you again. Yeah.
Now, you can hear that slap echo reverb thing grow. It's not there here.
Go for a ride till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah.
By the time he gets to that, "Shall I see you again?" And then he does that little thing. He's really kind of drenched in that slap reverb thing. Let's see how one might recreate something similar. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to awaken a level of saturation on my chain. Hey. It just got a little bit more in my face. I'm using the Sheps Omni channel. Got a little bit of saturation there. I'm compressing quite a bit. And, I'm really letting this meter be pegged. That's fine. This is in addition to me going into my Manly Core reference channel strip, and it's got some limiting and a tube compressor on there as well. So we are saturating and compressing on the way into the DAW. We're saturating and compressing a little bit more here. And then I am adding another bit of, we'll call this, now we're hitting tape saturation. This is a Phoenix 2 tape emulation plugin. And this is similar to what would have happened in the old days, where we've got a not transparent front-end mixing board that introduces a bit of saturation in the form of this right here. And then we hit tape, we've got it saturated again. And so when I start digging in to this sound, and I see you again, you can hear as my voice gets more intense, that sound, it like gives it a hug and warms it up. It's a really neat sound. You couple that with this way that they're bringing in that reverb delay mix. Here's what I've got for that. First, test. Got a little bit of reverb. Now, the reverb that I'm hearing on this recording is not a stereo reverb, and I should narrow that just a little bit. Test. There we go. There's a little bit of reverb on the main vocal, and then that's brought in simultaneously with test. Listen carefully. We'll A-B a little.
To the bottom and I see you.
To the bottom! To the bottom, and I'll see you again!
Yeah.
Yeah! Test. We've got an Echo Boy Jr., and we've got it set to a narrow mode, and we've got it set up as a slap echo. And I have it on the cheap tape setting, and I'm limiting the bandwidth both here as well as with an EQ, but I'm bringing up the harshness of it just a little bit. See you again! And then I'm reverbing. This is also mono. I'm reverbing the EQ'd delay. And you'll see and hear how this is brought in over and over again. And it's also brought out over and over again over certain parts. So be listening for that as we go on, now that we've laid this foundation. Now pay careful attention to this next phrase.
Well, don't you want me to love you?
Listen to "Want Me to Love You." Want me to love you. Want me to love you. I'm exaggerating that, but he really backs off. He gets to this climax here.
Don't you want me to love you?
Don't you want me to love you? He ends in head voice.
You. Don't you want me to love you?
It's very clean. He cuts it off sooner than I am. Don't you want me to love you? Next phrase.
Coming down fast, but I'm miles above you.
Miles above you! Cleans it up at the ends of those phrases. It's really cool. It's not miles above you! He's very intentional about those arcs over those phrases.
Coming down fast, but I'm miles above you.
Coming down fast, but I'm miles above you! Miles above you! Clean ends of the phrases.
Be a lover, but you ain't no dancer.
Wet, right there. They bring in that reverb again and delay slap. Well, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. Hey.
Now Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter. Listen to how the delay's there.
Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter.
Dry there. It's so fun. I never really noticed that before.
Yeah.
Now, you really start to hear, and you hear it here too. Listen to the in-betweens.
I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you.
You hear him going, you can hear him snapping. Blah, 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 blah. There's this sense of like regrounding and reacquainting himself with his voice. He's centering himself on that pitch, but it's vibey too at the same time. I do the same sort of thing even before I knew that guys like him did it. It's a way to kind of collect yourself and stay in the groove even over these sort of call and answer type lines. Sometimes you can get lost if you don't ground yourself, but you can hear him getting into it and you can hear him concentrating. This is a form of concentration.
I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. Tell me.
Now here, listen here.
Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter! Just having a good old time. In the background, you can hear him exuding glee and then taking a breath, right?
Helter Skelter.
And then Helter Skelter! This is important to pay attention to. You might not think so upon first listen, but this shares with you his attitude as he's recording and his vibe more so than what you actually hear prominently in the recording. You get this visual picture of how into it he is and how free he is. We'll hear more of that.
Yeah!
Shaking a cowbell or putting change in a cowbell.
But will you, won't you want me to make you?
Listen to how dry these background vocals are in comparison to this particular passage on that delay reverb thing.
I'm coming down fast.
You can hear that effect really prominently come out here, very dry.
Tell me the answer, you made me a lover, but you ain't no dancer.
And listen to how he goes in between his head voice and chest voice here.
So you made me a lover, but
You made me a lover, but you ain't no. Ooh.
so you made me a lover, but
You made me a lover, but you ain't no dancer. It's not a good idea to try to imitate, actual note, because he's being very free here. But if we can get this sort of, oh, you made me a lover, be a really worried lover, but you ain't no dancer. And then bring it back in. Be really loose and floppy and ooh, and then rein it in. Listen to what he does on Dancer. Dance! Like right on Dance, he leans into it and then pulls back. Dancer! Dancer! This is a key line here. But you made me a lover, but you ain't no dancer. But you made me a lover, but you ain't no dancer. It's all over the place because he's so giddy into it.
look out!
I like that look out.
Look out!
Look out! Look out!
Helter
You can almost hear here, well, listen,
Skelter!
where he's like going back and forth on the mic so much and remembered that he needed to sing and leaned into the mic again. You can hear that proximity effect there.
Look out!
Ooh,
'Cause he's
nice head voice and, gritty sort of.
look out!
Love it.
'Cause here it comes!
I never realized how dry those were. I guess they are, but that contrast of that effect that they have on his voice that they bring in and out, coupled with these, the different placements and environments that those vocals are put in is interesting. It's neat how he gets way more over the top here.
Yeah!
And I like how he cracks into his head resonance there, where he's going, yeah,
To the bottom and I see you again!
to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah. He's got that access to his higher head voice. Listen carefully here. This is a neat articulation. Yeah. I'm still maintaining that aggression and that grit. That's compression. False chord compression.
Want me to make you?
Here, dynamically, he's not backing off anymore, right? Want me to make you! As opposed to the beginning, want me to make you! Want me to make you! Want me to make you! Very different.
Don't let me break you!
Such a cool transition. Don't let me break you! Or is he big on you?
Break you!
No, it's break you! These kinds of things are really fun to play with. Where can you adjust this? Really lean into the don't let me break! And then you! Is that going to be a clean, chesty reach? You! Down to head voice. Don't let me break you! Is it going to be a pure head voice? Don't let me break you! Is it going to be, are you going to try pushing you? Don't let me break you! Back off in different places. Be able to do all of those things. Intentionally think about those lines. he wasn't thinking so detailed like we are during the performance, but I guarantee you, with all of that practicing, he has become so confident with the way he can go in and out of resonances. He's able to call these up on command and be loose and have a party while he's recording and summon all these muscle memory experiences.
Dancer!
Dancer!
Helter Skelter! Helter Skelter! Well, look out! Helter Skelter!
Ooh, yeah. Now these.
Well, look out!
Oh, look out! Just these head voice shrieks. They sound a little bit thicker than, he's not just going, look out! He's engaging some compression while he's up there. It sounds like a heady mix. And then coupled with that effect, it's pretty special.
Well, look out! Helter Skelter!
Helter Skelter! You have that grit there.
Well, look out!
It's clean at the top.
Well, look out!
Well, look out! Helter Skelter! Yeah!
She's coming out fast!
I like how he gets a real note in there that time. He's intentionally hitting that pitch.
She's coming out fast!
He's coming down fast! Yeah.
Out fast! Yes, cheers!
You can hear him connect his chest voice there really neatly too. Dries it up.
Yes, cheers!
Steers! Those letdowns, Chris Cornell, I guarantee you he pulled that in part from Paul McCartney. That letdown after a nice aggressive note.
Cheers!
Steers! Say any word, right? Love! Those are fun to practice as well, and Paul McCartney's great at those.
Yes, she is! Coming down fast. Oh, the helter skelter.
Helter Skelter. You can tell he really lengthened up. Lengthened up? Lengthened out? He's all right here. Yeah! La, 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 la. You can see his body language and his face changing there.
Oh, the helter skelter.
Ooh.
Hey, come here, son. I'll show you do that, you little bugger. Put your bloody hands on your head. Come on.
I got blisters on my fingers!
So much fun. This was a great one to go through. So much nuance in the recording, in Paul's performance. Absolutely incredible. Pay attention to these nuances as possibilities in your own voice as you pull things out of these isolated recordings. And there aren't many better ones than this one, Helter Skelter by the Beatles. Again, if you'd like to take your voice further and you'd like my help, if you'd like to take your recording further and you'd like my help, click some of those links below in the video info and join some of my free courses. It's the best place to start. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what other tracks you'd like me to try to find isolated recordings of. We'll see you for more.